beautiful.
And liftoff of Crew 9. Go SpaceX, go Falcon, go NASA.
It's a crisp afternoon at Launch Complex 1 where Electron is preparing for its latest mission from our private launch site in Māhia, New Zealand. Right now, it is T-minus 19 minutes in the countdown to Electron's 69th launch and our 11th launch of the year, our next in a series of missions for Japan-based constellation operator IQPS. Good afternoon and welcome to today's launch coverage. I'm Sam Peters and along with me is Catherine Chen, and we'll be taking you through the final moments before Electron takes to the skies once again.
Thanks, Sam. It's great to be here for this next Electron mission. Launch preparations are well underway and have gone pretty smoothly throughout the count today. We're tracking no issues with the rocket, the range, or the weather in the lead up to liftoff, and the team is aiming for our launch target right at the top of today's window at 3:45 p.m. local time or 3:45 UTC. Today's launch is the fifth in a series of missions for the Institute of Kyushu Pioneers of Space, or IQPS, to build out their Earth imaging constellation that provides SAR, or synthetic aperture radar imagery.
Now, we've called this one the Harvest Goddess Thrives, named for the satellite onboard Electron that the IQPS team affectionately know as Kushinada-1. This is named after the Japanese harvest goddess, a perfect fit for a satellite designed to help better monitor Japan's agriculture and resources. With 4 successful missions for this constellation flown by Electron already, we are very much looking forward to deploying another IQPS satellite to space for them today.
Now, one of the fun parts of working with IQPS has been coming up with the mission names and patches, with each of the QPS SAR satellites named after a different Japanese god, or in this case, goddess. Kushinada-1 will be joining its fellow gods launched on the previous Electron missions like Tsukuyomi for the Moon God Awakens back in 2023, and the remaining satellites all launched this year by Electron, Susanoo for the Lightning God Rains, Wadatsumi for the Sea God Seas, and Yamatsumi for the Mountain God Guards. After today's mission, Electron will have deployed 5 of the planned QPS SAR constellation, with another 3 missions and gods yet to go. It's an honor to be launching the constellation, and we're excited to get another one off the pad today with Kushinada.
Now, the QPS-SAR-12 payload on Electron today is headed to a 575-kilometer orbit at a 42-degree inclination and launching on a southeastern trajectory from Launch Complex 1 over the South Pacific Ocean. Their planned 36-satellite constellation in low Earth orbit is designed to provide near real-time observation of Earth using synthetic aperture radar. Now, SAR cameras are unique in the fact that they can capture images night and day and through cloud cover, which is often a challenge for traditional optical satellites. Let's hear a little more from IQPS about their mission.
QPS SAR project. The future begins in Kyushu. Maximum ground resolution of 46 centimeters. World-class images on board and transmits only the necessary images to the ground, delivering SAR images quickly. Using inter-satellite communication, even faster delivery is possible, aiming for about 10 minutes after observation.
There are so many great ways SAR technology can be used, and it's awesome to be supporting IQPS to get their constellation deployed as quickly as possible to realize their mission. 4 missions on Electron this year alone, more than any other customer of ours so far in 2025.
And taking a look now at the views of the launch pad, the vehicle's LOX load is underway for today's flight. We time LOX loading as close to launch as we can to keep this high-performance propellant as super chilled as possible. This is usually around negative 183 degrees Celsius or negative 297 Fahrenheit. Propellant load status is one of the critical milestones checked during the go, no-go poll run from Mission Control in the countdown to launch, which is coming up very shortly at T-minus 12 minutes to liftoff.
That's right. Soon we'll hear our launch director for today's mission, Julia Wembacher, call out to all operators for an update across all monitored systems, as well as a check-in on whether range and weather conditions are expected to be good or go right at our T0 liftoff target. Let's listen in now to hear how we're tracking for an on-time liftoff today.
If you see in the top left of your screen, you will see the launch director has paused the time at T-11 minutes. We'll throw it back to mission control until we hear more. And while we wait, we want to provide you an exciting update on one of our spacecraft missions. Last year, we built 2 identical spacecraft for NASA and UC Berkeley's Space Sciences Laboratory as part of their ESCAPADE mission. Now, ESCAPADE stands for Escape and Plasma Acceleration and Dynamics Explorers. These 2 spacecraft, named Blue and Gold after UC Berkeley's school colors, will go to Mars to investigate Mars's hybrid magnetosphere.
Now, ESCAPADE is part of NASA's Small Innovative Missions for Planetary Exploration program, which really emphasizes getting high-quality science done with smaller, more agile missions.
And by flying these twin spacecraft in tandem, they'll be able to capture a much more comprehensive picture of the magnetic fields and plasma dynamics around Mars, measuring things like the energy and speed of particles being lost from the atmosphere, and generally getting a better understanding of how the planet's climate has changed over time.
Our Space Systems team is performing routine maintenance and tests, preparing the twins for their journey back to Florida for launch. It will no doubt be an extremely proud moment when we get to send these 2 to space. Stay tuned for more updates on this incredibly exciting mission.
And if you've ever wondered how we've been able to make such massive strides, anyone who works here at Rocket Lab will tell you the same thing. It's because of the incredibly talented and dedicated people who work here.
And we're always looking for new talent to join the team, both on the launch side of the business as well as across our Space Systems division that designs, builds, tests, and operates spacecraft. Let's take a look at this breakdown of what it's like to work in Space Systems here at Rocket Lab.
I think the fascinating thing about the space industry, especially in the last 5 to 10 years, is that there's been such a boom of technologies that have been developed for space in particular. There's a massive difference in what the industry is now.
I think right now is a very interesting time since we are doing production and development kind of all at the same time and really kind of driving towards what's going to get us to that end-to-end space solution.
I haven't worked at a company where you have places in New Zealand, in Canada, on the East Coast, on the West Coast. It's a small company, but it's got a huge footprint.
Rocket Lab is in growth mode constantly. I've been here for a little over a year now, and just seeing the big difference between day 1 to where we are today is exponential, and it's only going to get better from there.
Everybody's very, very dynamic, very agile. New ideas are always well accepted. So, you kind of have to thrive in a very dynamic environment.
My tech team feels like a team. The engineers work hand in hand with us. Everyone kind of works together to meet the same goals. We all have different jobs, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that our jobs are done so we can move on to something new together.
The expectation is large on individual employees. We run a tight ship across the board no matter which team you're on. And so there's a lot of opportunity for individuals to show what they excel in and to kind of reach out and expand their specializations.
You can be a fresh engineer, but as long as you show passion and drive and curiosity, you'll succeed here and go a long way.
Not only are you surrounded by truly exceptional technical talent, but it's incredibly supportive. That's been like the cornerstone of why I feel like my experience here has been so valuable.
I never would have imagined myself being here in this moment. It just feels like I'm living my dream. Not to sound corny, but it really feels that way. Every time I work in there and work on the spacecraft, it's like, wow, this is really going somewhere. And it's what I've always wanted to do, so it's really enjoyable.
Rocket Lab has a good head on its shoulders. I think we know exactly where we want to go. We know exactly how we want to get there.
If you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, work with a team. This is a company that needs to go far. We're going to Moon, we're going to Mars. We have to go far together.
This company is really expanding in a way that includes multiple facilities, multiple departments. And if you're looking for something that will keep you grounded, but also will allow you to explore, this is exactly where you need to be.
It really is all about the people in the team who drive our technology forward and support some really cool missions in the process. So whether you're straight out of college or a vet with 20 years of experience, everyone works together to tackle the same problems and advance the same mission. And if you're interested in joining them, there's likely a role open for you. Check them out on our website, rocketlabcorp.com. All right, the team have identified the reason for the hold and the clock has been reset at T minus 12 minutes. Standing by now for the go, no-go poll in mission control shortly.
And to all operators, LD and mission code, just a heads up, we will be picking a new T0. We are looking at 10 past 4 local time. So I'm repeating, we will resume the count and we are looking at a T0 of 10 past 4 local time. And to all operators, LD and mission code, I can confirm I'm actively monitoring mission code, LV code and safety net.
All right, we just heard from the launch director. The count has resumed and we are at T minus 15 minutes in the count.
And to all operators, LD and mission code, we are proceeding now with the go-no-go sequence. Stage.
Stage is go.
Avionics.
Avionics is go.
GNC.
GNC is go.
Recon.
Recon is go.
T1.
T1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
PLS.
PLS is go.
RSO.
RSO is go.
MET.
MET is go.
MM.
MM is go.
And LD sub.
LD sub is go.
The go-no-go sequence is complete. We are currently T-minus 11 minutes and 16 seconds and counting. We go for terminal count auto sequence at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-bed procedure is in effect.
And that's exactly what we want to hear. We are go across the board for Electron's 69th launch. No issues with the rocket or pad systems, the payload is healthy, and the weather is cooperating for today's launch. We are now at T-minus 10 minutes to liftoff, and things are looking appropriately green for the Harvest Goddess. While we wait to hear an update from Mission Control about today's launch from LC-1, over on the east coast of Virginia, our third launch site, Launch Complex 3, is progressing smoothly.
We're almost ready to cut the ribbon on the launch site for our new reusable rocket Neutron, our dedicated launch, test and landing site for future missions. Here's more.
My name is Sean DeMello. I'm the Vice President of Neutron Development here at RocketLab. LC-3 is located at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport at the Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia. We chose Wallops for Neutron largely because it is a site that has an immense launch capacity and availability. There are a very few number of operators. In fact, we're the only ones operating out of Wallops right now going to orbit. So it is a very favorable choice for a new launch vehicle requiring a lot of launch availability. The Wallops is unique for Rocket Lab in the fact that we can launch Electron, HASTE, and Neutron all within the same overall launch complex itself. And we've got adequate propellant storage that allows us to turn around vehicles 24 hours apart. We have a lean and mean team out of Wallops who've done everything from designing the systems on the launch pad through to now actively constructing it and operating it. Here on out, our objectives are to complete all the system activation and performance test against all our test objectives. Once that's completed, the site is ready for rocket and will be operational. And with construction and activation in full swing right now, we look forward to opening the pad here this summer.
We can't wait for Neutron's first launch.
LD avionics on mission card.
Avionics LD.
Avionics terminal checks complete.
Copy, thank you.
LD GC on mission code.
GCLD.
LD, the hold down mechanisms are armed and the strong back is retracted for flight.
Copy, thank you.
Okay, it is now T minus 4 minutes on the countdown clock to launch as we approach liftoff time here in New Zealand. At around T minus 2 minutes, Electron's autonomous flight computer will take over the final sequence of launch preparations. Shortly after that 2-minute mark, we should hear the call that LOX loading is complete, which means that Electron is fully fueled for launch. The next gate after is the signal that the first and second stages are pressurized for launch. And after that, we wait for the 10-second countdown to liftoff run by our launch director. Let's listen in to Mission Control now for these final steps in the sequence. We'll be back with you after liftoff. Go Electron.
Understood. Thank you, GC. To all operators, LD admission code. From now on, there should be no red flags on the critical LCCs. VCON LD mission code.
LD VCOM.
Lock the auto sequence and confirm.
Auto sequence is locked.
And VCON please confirm all flight computer ASCOs are green.
All ASCOs are green.
To all operators, we are go for auto sequence start at T minus 2 minutes. LDs go for launch.
The vehicle is fully on internal power. AFTS is green and enabled for flight.
LOX load is complete. System is in recirculation. Anti-geysering is disabled.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 tanks are pressed for flight.
High flow engine purge enabled.
We are T-minus 20 seconds and counting. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Beginning pitch over.
Stage 1 propulsion nominal.
The Harvest Goddess is on her way to space for IQPS. Electron has launched cleanly off the pad at Launch Complex 1 and is now coming up against 700 kilometers per hour. In just a second, we should hear from our operators that Electron has reached max Q, which is the point in the flight when Electron is experiencing maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Vehicle is
It's the
supersonic,
first
approaching max
milestone
Q.
as we listen out for the launch. So let's bring up the audio channels now from MCC.
Cleared max Q.
That was a nice clean pass
HVP,
through max
please
Q
start
for Electron, and we are now about a minute or so away from staging and main engine cutoff on the first stage. Now, what should happen next is that all 9 Rutherford engines on the bottom of stage 1 will shut down as planned, and just a couple of seconds or so before the second stage is released from its separation locks. Once we are clear of the first stage, the Rutherford engine on stage 2 will ignite to propel Electron and IQPS onward to our target altitude for this mission. Let's keep an eye out now for the view across both stages as those
Stage
events
1
take
propulsion
place.
holding nominal. Stand by for MECO in roughly 30 seconds.
$15 seconds to staging.
Intent burnout detect mode. MECO confirmed. Stage separation confirmed. Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
A clean separation from the first stage as planned, and a beautiful start up there by the Rutherford engine on the second stage. That second stage's velocity is now at more than 8,000 kilometers an hour with an altitude of 95 kilometers after that separation event. Next up will be fairing separation for Electron when the rocket's nose cone halves split and fall away to expose the Kushinada payload to space for the first time.
Fairing jettison confirmed.
And there you have it. Electron's
Stage 2
2
guidance
fairing
is
halves
nominal.
have jettisoned from Electron, and on your screen you'll see the Harvest
Stage 2
Goddess
propulsion
safely
nominal.
attached to the kick stage and ready to make her debut on orbit. Taking a look now at the propulsion monitoring camera at the bottom of stage 2 shows that Rutherford is continuing nominally since engine startup, which happened just a few moments ago.
We have another 5 minutes to go for the second stage engine burn until the next separation event. This Rutherford engine's performance can reach up to 5,800 pounds of force in the vacuum conditions of space, with a specific impulse of 343 seconds. Now, specific impulse is a measure of performance in telling us how efficient an engine can be. One of the pretty special things about both our sea level and vacuum optimized Rutherford engines is that they're actually battery powered. The propellant pumps on these engines are driven by brushless DC motors powered by batteries. Now, since the amount of time the second stage engine needs to run is longer than the capacity of the first battery packs, Electron needs to perform a power switch over to a fresh set of batteries to keep the engine running. The flight computer does this while the engine is still burning hot. That's why we call it the battery hot swap. In a few moments, you should hear that call out from our launch operators, and if you keep an eye out on your screen, you should see those batteries eject in the next few moments.
HVB discharge holding nominal, approaching hot swap in roughly 30 seconds.
Throttling down. Battery jettison confirmed.
Confirm hot swap successful.
Nice and clean with that battery hot swap there, and one of the final launch milestones completed on Electron for its 69th mission to space. We are cruising along now at 15,000 kilometers an hour at 220 kilometers in altitude. Just 2 more key events remain for this first stage of the mission. That is SECO, or second engine cutoff, followed by stage separation, where Electron's kick stage separates from the second stage and gets ready to deploy the payload into orbit.
We're getting some stunning views of Earth from space from our onboard cameras. We touched on it a little bit at the start of the show, but right now Electron is running fully autonomously. What that means is our extremely talented GNC engineers have completed all the analysis to determine how to get to the specific place in orbit, and right now Electron's flight computer is running its algorithm in real time to fine-tune its performance and land Kushinada 1 on its final deployment orbit.
Right, so we are approaching 8 minutes into flight, and you can see on the right of your screen, Electron's second stage has around 13% of propellant remaining. Much like the first stage, there's no sense in carrying dead mass to orbit, so shortly we will separate the kick stage and payload from stage 2. We are soaring now past 22,000 kilometers per hour at an altitude of 230 kilometers above Earth.
With less than a minute left on this engine burn, we're approaching SECO. The engine on your screen there will power down and shut off just a moment before the kick stage is separated into a transfer orbit. Now, it may sound simple, but this is a very precise maneuver, and it's important that the kick stage is exactly where it needs to be for the next phase of the mission. Let's listen back into Mission Control for that SECO call and stage separation confirmation.
SECO confirmed. Nominal transfer orbit achieved. Stage separation confirmed.
With that Rutherford engine cold, we have heard confirmation from Mission Control that SECO has been cleared, and we've had a clean separation of the kick stage with the QPS SAR-12 to a nominal transfer orbit. What that means is that the Harvest Goddess and the kick stage are on the planned trajectory to transition from this initial elliptical orbit to its final desired circular orbit at 575 kilometers. This takes about 40 minutes or so to complete before the kick stage ignites our Curie engine to perform a circularization burn, landing us in our 575 by 575 kilometer orbit.
We'll be back with you for those final moments of the mission, but for now, you can follow the path of the Harvest Goddess in real time with our animated tracking graphic. And hey, while you're waiting, go check out the career section of our website to see how you too can make a difference in space.
We'll see you back here soon for payload deployment of QPS SAR-12.
Hello and welcome back to the broadcast for our 69th Electron mission, The Harvest Goddess Thrives for IQPS. Now, if you missed liftoff 52 minutes ago, we had a beautiful start from Launch Complex 1 in New Zealand that set Electron on a clean run through the usual launch milestones like MECO, Stage 1 separation, battery hot swap, SECO, and kick stage separation.
That's right. And just a few minutes ago, the kick stage moved out of its transfer orbit with a course correction to a circular trajectory around Earth. This moved it into the exact position it needs to be for payload deployment to a 575-kilometer altitude, where the Harvest Goddess will join the rest of IQPS's SAR satellites in its constellation. Now, all was nominal there for Curie startup and shutdown, and now we are just moments away from the QPS-SAR-12 satellites deployment. Let's listen back into mission control for the final moment of the mission.
Payload deployment, QPS, SAR-12, confirmed.
Fantastic call out there from MCC. That is payload deployment confirmed and mission success for our 69th Electron launch. May the Harvest Goddess thrive in her new home on orbit within the IQPS constellation. Congratulations to the Electron team for another flawless mission once again, and all the best with satellite commissioning for IQPS.
And that is number 11 for this year and number 5 for IQPS in support of their synthetic aperture radar constellation. Before you know it, we'll be back on the pad with another Electron mission. So keep an eye out on our social media channels and website for those details, along with the latest images and updates from today's launch.
That next mission won't be long away, but until then, thank you so much for joining us. This is Rocket Lab Mission Control, signing off.
Oh, that's beautiful!
And with Crew 9, go SpaceX, go Falcon, go NASA.